.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow up 442, Nasdaq's up 140, S&Ps are up 42. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, as we do each and every Tuesday at 30 past the hour. And don't forget, folks, Basil has an outstanding show here every trading day, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Also has a great newsletter, the opening call. Now, very easy to get the opening call, folks. Come over to our website at TFNN. You see it right under featured content. You hit the opening call. You just hit subscribe, and you can get the opening call for 1 month for $128. You can get it for 6 months for $595, which is a savings of $173. You can get it for a year for $995, which is a savings of $541, which is a savings of 35%. And when you get the newsletter, folks, that comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and Basil has done an outstanding job with a whole library of archives that he has in there. So you're going to get a lot more than a newsletter. You're going to get a great education. And guess what? Education is where it's at, man. Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Doing great, man. Yourself?
Very good. Thank you.
So
interesting market, huh?
Oh man, let me tell you, when the S&Ps can go down 90 and up 50 in a matter of an hour and a half, yeah.
and folks, Tom is talking about the S&P. This is not the Dow. This is the S&P.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah. What's interesting though, the patterns really haven't changed that much. Look, when we went to that last high in April, the 29th at 24,764 on this left side chart, we made the pattern that I often talk about. It's called the lowercase h. And what happens, let me just drag this across here. In this lowercase h, one of the reasons why I always like to show it as red, because if it takes out the left side low, it can go quite a bit lower.
Okay.
And if you're looking at the opposite, which is the inverted Y, it can go quite a bit higher, which is why I make it green. And we're looking at this pattern here. When we made that high, it made an arch formation, and it took it out and went down to 22,789. So now we've made a peak D. I always think that the fourth highest peak is where we've got to think that other things can happen, and that's exactly what occurred here on the So that was June the 8th. I must put that in. Let me do it right now because I keep forgetting it's June the 8th. Yeah, so June the 8th. Hit 27,580, not the all-time high. The all-time high was 29,568, and that was made in February, and that was before the smash down to 18,213. That was a 39% decline. Normally, after anything like a 25 to a 40% decline, you would expect that there's an extremely sharp rally. Well, there was a rally, and we were very lucky because on the 23rd we didn't start going along the Dow via option calls, and then we went long at just under 21,000 via the diamonds. That's the 1-to-1. That's the position you can take if you want to go long the Dow. So we've been long, and now here we are at 26,277, having hit 27,580. But look, there's a pattern here that we talk about in technical books. We talk about an island reversal, and basically what happens is you have like the mainland, and then you have this outlier where you have some bars that go above it or could be below it, and then you wait to see if it's filled. And in this case, it hasn't been filled. We tried to get there. We went to today's high is 26,611. That's still underneath that last the low that was made right here on the just before the day before the top, and that's 27,100. 10. So that's 1,000 points. So I'm looking at this, and I think we're probably looking at either it's going to be another H pattern right here, so that within a day or two we'll start to roll over, and we will know that if we take out this key support of this pink line, which I call the Chapman Wave inside track propellant buy zone. This is very important because we took it out yesterday, we went closed above it. So here's the 200 period moving average. There's a whole bunch of moving averages. So if we start to trade between today's Tuesday, so let's say by Friday or Monday, there's some kind of reversal and we start to close underneath 25,400. That sets us up for that H pattern, which says, hey, be careful because we could get down into 24,000s again. So I have my parameters quite clear, and we still have all our long positions. We've taken profits, taken a little bit off, still trying to keep the core positions, and we've added now a stock that really represents the infrastructure. So if that works out, low price stock, if it works out, it can be very nice. I don't know if this is where I really want to have subscribers be overbought. This is an area where I think we're going to bump into some resistance. And at the same time, we're looking at good support. I think the Fed really wants us to not break down here. I think it's important. So I think we're trapped in a range. And so far for us, that's good because I prefer a high-level consolidation than a low-level consolidation. But if you look at the weekly chart, look at this. The pattern I often talk about, the stork leg formation.
Yeah, I've been trying to shoot that stork for like 15 years.
For a long time. So you've got your leg, and then it goes in, and it has to be oval. If it's a rectangle, this looks exactly like an oval. I would have preferred another 1 or 2 bars to have the oval body of the stork a little longer, and then it goes to the neck, and here we are. Pull back and almost tested the high that was made at the top. So this is going to be very important because if there's a break underneath 24,600, I think we're in not for just a pullback, but I think we're in for a pullback of a little more time and price. But if we can just be steady here and have the bulls and bears fight it out within a trading range, I think that's good. I'd rather have a consolidation. What's going to be really important, and we can see that in the stocks that we own. So far, they've held up very nicely because they're in niche areas. But if we start to see, and the Qs, the index 100, starting to lag a little bit, what you want to see here is a rotation through stocks that have been lagging, and preferably the cyclical stocks. And you can have the high techs take a bit of a breather. I mean, they've been spectacular. So that's kind of the stance that we've been taking. Positive, just getting a little cautious, trying to raise some cash because I think there will be opportunities to have some really good buys on stocks that have been underperforming that perhaps could rotate and start to move to the upside.
Nice. Hey, so what is the the feel in Boston right now?
So this is really, I actually forgot about this. I was going to mention it on my show. It's a very good question because my wife and I had to go into town. She had to go to the hospital to just pick up some papers and things.
Yeah.
That she's a physician. So I couldn't believe it. It was not even like a Sunday morning. It was absolutely no people, no cars.
Really? Okay.
No people. And yet my son just came from Brooklyn, and he got a lot of traffic on the way.
Yeah.
So it's a real mixed picture. But downtown, I mean, you would not believe it. There was
empty.
There was nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not the way you get a city back. You got to have people.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt. And I suspect, Boston, of course, is the huge, tourist town also, folks. Okay. It's pretty cool when you grow up there and you don't realize you grow up there and you get all the guns that trap the British like rats and everything else. So it's pretty wild.
And not only that, what really is kind of disturbing is that you've got a lot of places boarded up.
You do.
So in a way, it looks like evacuation or something. I've never seen this, and I've been here a long time. So it was, and that really speaks to what we're looking at here, and that's the selectivity in the market. At some point, I think there's going to be a reality to just say, hey, the economy in some sectors is good, but the major bulk really has to pick up because otherwise we will see lower prices.
Yeah, pretty heavy. Listen, folks, come on over to our website at TFNN. You're sitting on it right now, listening to the program. You can get Basil's newsletter, great newsletter, the opening call. Just hit subscribe. You get a month, 6 months, a year, all with 30-day money-back guarantee. Basil, you have a great one, safe one. We look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thank you. Stay right there, folks. Come right back.